How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Crossways. How you doing, Steph? Say hello to
Good.
everybody.
I can't believe we're on season 2 already.
We're on season 2, and I'm very excited about season 2 because I think that I really do think it's going to be quite a good season, but we'll get into that. How you been doing? What you been doing?
I've been good.
How's your summer?
Summer was great. The last time I seen you was when England won the Euros, which was amazing summer for, obviously, the Lionesses. But, yeah, it's been nice to spend some time with the family and, play a bit of golf.
What you doing? Did you play any paddle? What about paddle? Because I know you do.
Ian, I played yesterday.
Are you good at paddle?
Well, obviously not, because yesterday I went and played 4 games and lost all 4.
Oh, no.
But
I don't like paddle.
Stick up for myself. I've not really practiced.
Right.
And obviously you're playing against players that are like, a little bit bandit players, you know, that they say they don't do anything.
But they do it. I watched a point the other day and it went on for so long, I checked out. And I don't like the fact that everybody's trying to force paddle down my throat.
So you're not playing, no?
I'm not going to play paddle, no. I'd rather play tennis.
You're quite stubborn, aren't you?
I'm not quite stubborn. It's just that I don't like when people force it on you. It's like when I was younger, when you was at school and people say, oh, did you see that film? Oh, it's so great. And because everybody saw the film, I didn't want to watch it because I didn't want to be that person that's funny and saying, oh, I've seen it now.
What have you been doing?
You know something? I've been having a really good summer, really relaxed. I played a lot of golf because my knee got really getting stronger and that. But I'm just playing bad golf.
Golf,
I went to Loch Lomond the other day with the Emmy Smiley Foundation charity. It was unbelievable. It was with Teddy and Shearer. We'll talk about him later, but got Shearer up there. Teddy, Shearer, Les Ferdinand, Stephen Hendry, Ken Doherty. Who else was there? Sir Alex, Kenny Dalglish, Harry Redknapp. It was really, it was one of those where you go back into that environment and you kind of feel like, oh gosh, I don't want to say anything wrong. I don't want to. You just, it was that kind of environment. But it was brilliant. It's fantastic.
You had a good time, yeah?
I did have a good time. It was really good. And I'm just really looking forward to the season now. I'm really looking forward to the season. And obviously, like a new studio, everybody. Can you
New season, new studio.
Yeah, it's nice. We've got some cool stuff. See Snoop's on his own there.
Yeah.
See Shearer's up there. You know what we should do? We should ask people if there's any little kind of things that they want us to put on there. And then we see if it's cool enough, we can put it on there because there's loads of shows.
We have space for a lot more stuff, so if you have stuff, send it in to us.
Send us in, and then we'll see how it goes. What's Steph? Yes, Steph, look, Biggie.
I'm happy with that.
You see Biggie there looking after your shirt?
He's after my shirt there, yeah.
Do you think it's fair to put Snoop on his own or Biggie?
Golden boot.
Well, we put the golden boot there.
Yeah, you had to do it, didn't you?
So if you do want us to, because we're going to have some artwork here, like you see that Lego, is that Lego? Adidas boot there. If you got any kind of artwork, just send it in. What's that? Crosswordspodcast@gmail.com. Send it in. And then if it's cool, we'll put it up there. Okay. So obviously there's a lot been going on. So we had to get one of the oracles on women's football. My dear friend, Lloyd Hughes. Lloyd Hughes, can you come in? You're coming in. Yay!
Hey.
Lloyd Hughes.
First guest of the first season.
Yes. Welcome to Crossways. Lloyd Hughes from the Cutback and Counterpress. Flo, just before we get going properly, can you just, because there's so much that's been breaking off on the Cutback. Tell us what's been going on, Flo, quickly.
Yeah, it's been busy. Obviously, the transfer window is just about to close. So it's been very, very busy. We've had breaking news stories on the Cutback. And for anyone that doesn't know the Cutback is, imagine if you logged onto a website every day and you were scrolling through, but everything was about women's football. You didn't have to click through any men's football. You could have a dedicated website where you would have in-depth stories, focused content, everything about the women's game.
One-stop shop for everything women's football.
There you go.
Nice one. How's Counterpress going? How's it going? How's it going?
Good. We started the season with a big season preview. And what's interesting is everyone wants to talk about London City Lionesses.
Exactly.
We asked our listeners, what do you want to talk about? And that was it. So we had to,
So for us as well, we, for the people who are listening to us as well, they need to know more about the London City Lionesses, Michelle Kang and everything what's happening, because all they're seeing at the moment is signings. They need to know the backstory. Can you give us a whirlwind kind of like backstory on the London City Lionesses?
Yeah, so the London City Lionesses are the only independently owned club in the WSL.
Yes, Michelle.
So what that means is they're not linked to a Premier League side. Obviously, we know a lot of Premier League teams are selling off stakes in their women's team, but at the moment, London City Lionesses are independently owned. That creates challenges because, as we all know, if you are linked to a Premier League club, you've got that brand that everyone knows. You've got access to probably good facilities, hopefully. good stadium, and you've got almost ready-made marketing at your fingertips because everyone knows Arsenal, City, Chelsea, United, etc. So London City Lionesses, they were existing before Michelle Kang came along, and she has multiple clubs in her business, in her Kaniska kind of library of multi-clubs. So she also owns Leon Women, and she also owns Washington Spirit in the NWSL. So London City Lionesses are her WSL team. Obviously, lots of people who know football will know that there's crossover sometimes. So there are players who are moving between the two clubs. Danielle van der Donk's contract expired at Lyon, so she's now at London City Lionesses. So there is crossover, and multi-club ownership is very new in the women's game, so it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. But when you look at London City Lionesses, they're having to put in a lot of work because they're competing in a very busy market that's London, but they do have an area of footprint that's their own, which is Southeast London and Kent. Obviously Palace's area, but Palace are now in WSL 2, so they've really got a good kind of grip on that region. What's also interesting is I've got friends who teach in the northwest of London, but they're making grassroots school partnerships with London City miles away. So they're working hard to create fans because it's a hard job, and they're spending a lot on marketing. They've got a brand new shirt and the shirt sponsor, and this is kind of genius, right? Because if you're a new club, and a lot of women's teams have the same issue, not just London City Lionesses. If you're a women's club and we might not get a lot of money for our front of shirt sponsor because we're not Arsenal men, we're not Chelsea men. Yeah. How can we do something that gives us that marketing value? So what have they done? They've partnered with Together, which loads of women's football fans will know, and like women's sports fans will know. Big content channel in the US.
Yes.
They've got their everyone which watches women's sports slogan, which is massively viral and huge. They put that on the front of shirt sponsor, and they've instantly connected with a brand new audience in the US and a slogan that for a lot of people means something. Those shirts, I mean, Steph, I'm sure you saw the Lionesses one, right? They had the one that said everyone watches the Lionesses.
Right.
People want that shirt because it means something to them. So if we're not going to sell a big money shirt deal, but what can we get from it? We can get kind of a message, a huge global marketing push, and that's what they've done. So yeah, they're working hard.
She's really Michelle Kang as well. She's done brilliant. You know what I do love is the fact, like you mentioned there, they're not dependent on anybody. Even that, the clever way that they're going about their sponsorship. But like what people are saying about them is, oh, I don't like them. Oh, they're coming in and they're just blasting. They're buying everyone. This is what they have to do because of the ambition.
They've got no other choice, have they, really?
Well, the thing about it is that we've known with Michelle Kang, that's how she moves. She comes in and she makes things happen. And I know that a lot of people are also saying, Flo, about the players that have had to leave, but it's very ruthless in what they're doing, and they're moving very quickly. Even Captain Aslani, Swedish player, I heard her saying about them talking about finishing and not getting ready. She said, no, we're not thinking about down there. And when you look at the players that they've signed, very good, experienced players, Premier League, at WSL level, they're coming to do something.
I think my question is, and I think, Steph, you'll be able to speak to this, it's a lot of new players. And the question is...
A lot of new experienced players.
But a lot of people, when they were messaging Counterpress about wanting us to talk about it, they were saying, do you think they can finish fifth? So will they be the new fifth place team? I don't think people think that they can disrupt the big four, but people are thinking they can finish fifth. But my question is, it's a lot of new players to gel. How do you make all those players work quite quickly?
I think I look at it, and obviously Michelle Kang, as soon as they got promoted, was like, the minimum is we were going to be a mid-table WSL team. Yeah. I think for me, the ambition and the incentive to do that, like, she's actually backing up what she's trying to say. I think they could have been in this market and going, okay, let's just survive. Let's just survive that playoff game at the end of the season. But for me, I think, a lot of players, there's 14, 15 new players in, 11 players out. And of course, you'd probably would have liked them players that have got the team promoted to have some say in this WSL. But like what Ian said, when you're putting that much money in, you have to invest and you want success quickly. That's what happens in football, and that's what women's football is becoming, unfortunately. But for me, I think this is down to the manager and what he wants in that process. But I think for me, when I look at all the signings that they've signed, the experience in the WSL for me is crucial at this stage when you're a new team coming in. I think the last few years we've seen these teams come into the WSL, the likes of Crystal Palace, and they've lacked experience of what this league's about. It's quite cutthroat because
I
it's
like
little games.
No, but I think that the way she's coming in, and she's going straight into the fast lane and what she's doing. Yes, we're talking about, them having to gel. But when you look at the players that they've got and the players, like they're linked with Grace Gioro now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is you
Chelsea wanted her not long ago.
Chelsea wanted her. So they are now competing for players that Chelsea want, right? So that says where her intentions lie. So if we're saying that, but they're going to need to gel, they need to get. If they do, then I think they're going to finish a lot. They're going to finish.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is that they've actually went in with a caliber of player of like going. Actually, I've got experience.
Yeah.
I've got internationals on top of the internationals that they already have. Like the likes of Cumberguy. How much experience has she got? But then you add in the likes of Nikita Paris, Danielle van der Donk, who's got vast experience in this league and can change games. I think
Kennedy at the back.
Like Katie Zellum,
Katie Zellum for me, I think is the
that is a big signing. That
is a fantastic signing. But when you look at a number 6 that you want, who's available, that can come into a team like that with the experience that's in and around her as well, it's a brilliant signing.
And let's be real, it doesn't actually take that much to, no disrespect to the mid-table, but the gap between the top 4 and the rest is so big that if you win a good run of games and get consistency, you can get that 5th place spot. Because Villa ended up finishing 6th, basically because they won their last 3 games and they start the season terribly.
And that's how close it was. And I think we were saying that all season, that the gap was obviously too big at the top, but obviously them teams below, it might take one signing to get you kind of into that run of form, but there's no way that she's not going to buy in January anyway.
Can I be honest?
Can
I be honest with the London City Lionesses? I just want them to carry on doing what they're doing to set a precedent, because then you look at the teams, you look at a Leicester, even you look at Man United, Liverpool, all because they're so connected to the club. Anything that happens with the men's side is going to directly affect them. But what Michelle Kang's done with the London City Lionesses, she's on her own. She's blasting herself, and that's why I wanted to come in, hit the ground running and do something. So it then attract other people to say, you know what, I'm going to go in and I'm going to have my own independent football team. And I know it's not easy because it takes a lot of money and you've got a lot of patience as well. But this is what, for me, this is what the women's game needs, is somebody that's coming and saying, no, Chelsea, you're not going to do it again. You're not going to do another 6 in a row because we're coming. And you want other teams to come and other business people who are going to invest to do that. That's how the women's game is going to blast forward.
How many times have we said that we need investment in the game, and then now it's here? Then people are like, well, why is it here? And I'm like, well, why are we even asking why it's here? Because
it's needed.
Even though they've obviously signed a lot of players, but actually the foundation's been built. You can see that even the links to certain clubs, which he rightly owns, of course, but you're attracting players. Like,
you can't not, Steph. You have to do. That's what I'm saying,
Like,
you know what they're saying about, like, they're signing everyone. They have to do that because they're in the WSL. And you know what? They've got a great opportunity as well, Flo, because like you mentioned about the space between the top 3 and then there's a space for somebody to come in there with this kind of ambition and intention to really cause a problem. The first game's against Arsenal as well. It's going to be really exciting. So, Flo, the WSL and the minimum wage, can you explain to me what's going on with that? How is that coming about? What's happening? How much we're talking about?
Yeah, so Tom Gary at The Guardian reported this week
Big up, Tom.
There are some new minimum salaries being put in place, and the CEO from the league said that the idea is that no player will need to have a part-time job anymore, which is obviously very important because I do think there's been a bit of a myth around, and I know a lot of players have spoken about this, about the sort of salaries that most women's footballers are earning, right? If you're at one of the big 3, 4 maybe, and you're an international player, you've got a decent salary, right? But actually for the vast majority, much further down in the WSL and WSL2, that's not the case at all. A lot of them might be in shared club-owned accommodation, etc. So there's been a real push to try and bring a bit more of this formality in place to protect and secure players a lot more. So it's obviously really positive news to start the beginning of the season, and also alongside that, the WSL's got a new partnership with Nike, which means that players who don't have boot deals or glove deals will be able to get supported in that. So then they'll have to, won't have to spend as much money on getting that equipment because really, like the vast majority of WSL and WSL2 don't have boot deals, when the assumption is always that
every player must have a boot deal, but it's not really the case. As Steph,
Yeah.
you'll know from lots of players you played with, right?
I think for me, I love the idea of the minimum wage and the salary because I think if we want to progress through the leagues and to make us the most competitive league in the world, which I think we're really close to now, we have to have like that bottom league secure. And there's so many stories that you hear about girls that are training maybe trying to train full time, but also trying to have a part-time job. And actually, like, this gives them a chance just to focus on the football and actually to give themselves a great opportunity. But also, we spoke about these clubs being serious about the game, and now they've got no choice but to. Because actually they have to buy into this and they have to really invest in their players. And for me, that only happens when people are invested, but also like the quality of the game will get better. And then therefore we do get more investment because people are entertained by the whole game and there's so much more competitiveness. So from a personal point of view, I think when I first went into England, I got introduced to the central contracts, and that was a game changer for us all because actually we could concentrate on just training going to the gym, doing what we need to do, follow our program, and not having to think about, I need to go to sports soccer and actually do a 5-hour shift and earn 25 quid. Like, you could actually just do what you need to do and like actually develop yourself as an athlete. And that group of players, like, they've won a lot of caps for England in the past and continue to do so now. So for me, I think that's probably the best thing that's come out of this summer transfer window is that actual kind of that news that there's a minimum wage in both WSL 1 and 2. Flo, on to the next subject. Speaking on the transfer window, big move potentially with Alyssa Thompson going to Chelsea.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously talk so much about London City Lionesses' ambition, but this transfer window, I think, has been the most exciting we've seen in the women's game. I know the January one, when Germer and Walsh both came, was pretty crazy, but everything's come late this week. Obviously, on the cutback, we were sweating with the Jess Park, Grace Clinton deal.
Yeah, we're going to
Managed to break that, which was amazing, and I think a move that probably actually works for both players.
Absolutely, yeah.
But this Alyssa Thompson one has come about quite late. It was pretty quiet, and then suddenly, I think, start of this week, Tom Gary reported it, and then Alyssa Thompson herself was posting on Instagram some cryptic stuff. I want to get your thoughts on that, Steph.
Yes.
But it's interesting because it's gathered speed quickly. This is also a window where we've seen the record transfer fee break from Liv Smith deal, which feels like it happened years ago now because it happened at the start of the Euros. So that feels like a fever dream. That broke. Then the record broke again with a Mexican player moving into the NWSL. And we will probably see it break again with the Alyssa Thompson deal. I believe she's in the air as we're recording.
Wow.
So, you know, there might
I've seen
be some
a picture
stuff
of the
out
airport
sync.
actually on socials.
So it's like old school transfer deadline day. People are on Flight Tracker. Like, this is what it's all about. This is the fun
That's
bit.
never been heard of in the women's game,
Exactly.
though, has it?
This is so fun. You know, back in the day when people used to sort of text into the live text saying so and so spotted at, you know, Newcastle Airport. This is amazing, I think, and exciting. She clearly wants to move.
Yes.
Angel City don't want it to go. But if the price is right, you can't really say no. I think, I mean, it's Chelsea's ambition just knows no bounds if they're going to drop potentially maybe $2 million on a player of her quality. Very exciting young USA player. There's nerves around US top talent coming to the WSL.
Absolutely,
but if I'm a player in the US, coming to Europe, you just get access to more competitions.
It's Champions League,
Champions League, and you're going to be playing top quality, intense games from September to potentially May if you make the final, right? And you've got FA Cup, you've got League Cup, you've just got more. There's more opportunities here, and even though we'd spoken about the gap between Chelsea and the rest, you've still got at least 3 games, right? Steph, you probably thought this throughout your career, where you've got, if you're a Chelsea player, you've got Arsenal, City, United, those minimum 3 games, like on top of the Champions League, where you know this is going to be the pinnacle of our season. So to have that must be so exciting, and like all these big famous football brands as well.
The thing with Alyssa coming, I think is fantastic. Again, from the NWSL's point of view, again, they're all about like a Caitlin Clark energy where they need somebody to be that poster girly kind of vibe, and to lose her, and then you're hearing like little snippets of Trinity Rodman. You know, now I'd love someone like Trinity Rodman to come to the WSL, and obviously to
Chelsea were linked.
Yeah,
to her
but
as well at one
Chelsea are
point.
linked with it. But I think that she'd be better off at Arsenal if she was going to come. But that is
you can't buy everyone.
No, it's not a case of buying everyone. But when you look at the Arsenal and our Arsenal,
they need a winger though.
Honestly,
so.
you know something, we do need it. But if you're going to get someone like that, like Trinity Rodman, then when you're talking about the NWSL and what they're trying to build and losing those kind of players, it's not good for them. It's terrible for them.
No, nothing.
They can't. But again, they can't offer what we can offer over here in Europe.
She's from LA. She is the poster girl for that club and everything. So it is frustrating. And I know there were some signs at a recent game where I think a fan wrote a sign that said Chelsea are already so stacked or something like that.
Oh,
so
yeah, I've seen
there's
that.
a bit of fan frustration around it.
Flo, even like we're speaking about the transfer window now, but probably Chelsea did a lot of their business in the January one where nobody really did anything.
Yeah,
the likes
they
of
were
Naomi
really busy.
Girma and Kira Walsh, and I think everybody perceived it to be a quiet transfer window. But if they obviously sign Alyssa
that'd be massive.
today, that would be huge.
That'd be huge.
Massive.
Flo, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
you.
So what's the Cutback? Tell us where we can find the Cutback, please.
So type in www.thecutback.com. You
Right.
can find us on there. Obviously, find us on social media. But if you want to get the content, read the content, subscribe there. We'll email you out stuff. It's all on the website. We've got live chats, live events. Got a transfer live chat. So I've got to go because there's stuff happening.
I'm surprised your phone's not rang, actually.
Things are moving quickly. So, I better go. But thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, Flo. We'll see you again.
See you soon.
Take it easy, Flo. So, Steph, the transfers, it's been exciting. It's been some really interesting stuff going on in respect to the transfer market. But I want to ask you about the Grace Clinton, Jess Park scenario. I think that's quite a good one. I think it seems like it's a good outcome for both of them. That happens, I think it is.
From an individual point of view, yeah. And I think, I was surprised, if I'm being honest. I think when I heard that Grace was potentially coming to Man City, I was like, actually, that's probably a midfielder that we've probably not got that profile of, like someone that can do a bit in both boxes, but also likes to put in a tackle. And last season, I know that consistency wasn't the best, but I think she got herself in and around the box and created chances and was a bit of a threat for United. So I think for me, I think that was something that we'd probably missed at City. Jess Parks, I think I'm a bit gutted in terms of Jess has been at the club since she's been 16, and I think for me, I always want those academy girls being able to stay for as long as possible. But I think for me, by all sounds of it, I think Jess is probably going to potentially get more game time at United.
I think it's it works out better for both, simply because I think Grace needs that next injection of like that boost of going to the next level. Because I know she was, I know for a fact she was quite disappointed about not having more involvement in England, and obviously you're disappointed while you're there. And it's like we see some people are capable of I'm here, I'm going to learn what's going on. But some people, no, I want to be playing. So I think that if she goes to City with the players and the calibre of players at City, she's got to go to that next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can't be like, I wouldn't say sulking or bad, but it's just that's how her personality is. She wants to do more. So I think going to City will help her. And I think with Jess Park, especially with her being on the fringes of England, going to United and playing is perfect for her, especially you've got a World Cup, 2 years? I think that if she can go there with her ability, because she is very good. You know what I mean? I really do like her. And I'm really pleased that she's finally been able to go somewhere and play regularly.
You know what, Ian? I just want her to believe in herself. I believe in herself, and I think that is a lot with Jess. I think she's naturally fit. She's got that natural ability. She's small, so she's so agile. She can turn, and I think certain players just need to be playing, and they need that to feel that love a little bit. And maybe potentially she might get that at Manchester United.
She should do so, shouldn't she?
Yeah, but I just think it's mad that like a Man City player and a Manchester United player are changing.
I think that know something.
It's hard to get my head around.
You know what it is. It's that especially you don't see it a lot in the men's. What was it? Carlos Tevez, I think, was the main one that comes out. But at the same time, going the other way. But at the same time, I think for the women's, it's not so intense.
Maybe that rivalry isn't quite at what it potentially is because the history hasn't been there for a long time.
But the thing with Man United, ideally for Man United, when you look at the players that they have lost down the years and how they move, and again, this is why I go back to the London City Lionesses and how them coming in as their own independent force themselves, They're not worrying about, well, what's happening with the men's. Oh, we can't concentrate on the women's at the moment because we've got to do. They can just blast through. Whereas Man United, again, you see what's happening with Man United in the men's side. That's going to feed down into the women's. And so Man United should be, for me, re-signing like Grace Clinton and bringing in a player, if it's not Jess Park, a player of that calibre and better.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at Grace Gioro getting ready to maybe go to the London City Lionesses. You know, those are the kind of players that Man United should be attracting and having and keeping at their club. But they're nowhere near there. The Man United that we think is there is nowhere near there for the women's. So I think for Jess going to Man United, it's a fantastic move for her. And I think for Grace going to City, probably get a massive increase in wages as well.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah. And my thing is do you play for Jess especially, like obviously her and Tooney are like similar players.
Yeah.
Do you play them both together? I think that's going to be so interesting. I think that's why I'm so excited to watch the games this weekend, because I think then we'll get probably a better guide on what teams are going to do.
Well, again, Steph, when you look at it like that, and it's a good point you make, because Tooney's there obviously, and Tooney be looking at Jess coming in, and it's a similar position. Yeah. That's what Man United should be doing. They should be having that kind of competition for places, simply because you want to get the best.
There's no reason you can't play them together.
No, you can play them together, but the fact is they're in the Champions League. Jess will be in the Champions League. It'd be interesting to see how well they do in it. But Man United need to start signing players where you are creating a competitive environment for them. You don't want someone like Ella Toon just knowing that she's going to play all the time, because she herself needs pushing. So I think that might work out really well in the end. And I quite like that sign. Hopefully it'll happen for Grace, and then she can then... Because I think if Grace kicks on and plays like we've seen, what she can tackle, she can score, you know what I mean? She's a really good number 8. If she kicks on, then she'll blast herself into that England side.
No, I do think that as well. Let's start with
Leah.
Are you sad?
I'm really sad about this.
The mood just changed there.
Yeah, did you see me swallow? I had to swallow. Lia Walti, you know what I mean? I think Lia Walti is probably, she's easily one of my favourite players of all the women players, just because of how she is, you know, knowing her like I do as well, how great she is, a fantastic ambassador for the club. And when I saw her video, it really made me sad, because she came onto the video and she already had tissue in her hand. So, you know, she's obviously been crying, and she had to compose herself before she done it. But when you're talking about the calibre of player, never lets you down. Obviously, the injuries didn't help her last season, but we saw her in the Euros. She's still got a lot to offer, and her going to Juventus, obviously, I'm devastated by it, but it's exactly what she needed to do. She's made the right decision for herself. But as a player and a person and an ambassador, honestly, I can't speak highly enough of her. You know, you never hear anything negative about her with any of the players or anything like that. She always comes on and does a great job. She's a brilliant player in that midfield. When she's sharp, that's turning through the midfield and passing, progressing. She's the kind of player you want to try and bring in, a player that's, you know, replicates how she plays, because she is perfect. But again, you know, she's at the stage of her career where, no, you know what, I can't really hang around now. And, you know, she's going to Juventus. Obviously, it's not the men's Juventus, but she's going to a great club, and she will play. Whenever
we used to play against Arsenal, I think we knew that if we could stop Walti playing, then we'd give ourselves a big chance. And I think in them kind of 2019, 2021, 2022 seasons, like, we speak about Kira Walsh and how, like, good she was in that role, but Lia Walti was just as amazing, ball-footed, technical, and to have that many appearances for Arsenal, but also to be able to do a goodbye video, that just shows how much she's been appreciated. But like we said, in terms of Beth as well, sometimes you've just got to go and play and experience something different.
You do, Steph, and people got to understand as well, it's not everybody can have a rock solid personality as someone like a Lotta Wubben-Moy, who can deal with that, because you can feel with Lotta. You know what I mean? I know we're not talking about Lotta, but I feel Lotta's going to grow on to greater things, and the experiences that she's getting now by going to all these tournaments and not playing a minute, someone's going to benefit from that. Now, Lotta's got the strength in character to be able to deal with that. But, like, there's players who can't. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. You see, Mary Earps couldn't deal with that with the England. Millie Bright couldn't deal with that. And we're seeing the same with Lia Walti in getting to a certain age and saying no. And now Beth Mead, again, I go back to it, you know, it's some players don't dig players out for saying, I want to. It's they want to play.
With Lia Walti moving, is a bit of a big gap for Arsenal.
It is, and we do need to try and fill it.
Yeah.
As well as a centre back as well.
Mm-hmm.
We do need a centre back. But Lia Walti and the way she plays for us is a massive hole.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to make sure that we plug that. I don't know how we're going to do that.
We wish her luck.
Absolutely wish her luck.
Yeah.
All the luck in the world. You could see her. You know what? When I was just thinking about it there, you could see her somewhere like high up at UEFA or FIFA.
Yeah.
Especially if she comes from Switzerland as well. You could see her in one of those blue suits and the white trainers. Yeah. So good luck to Leah. Ruby Mace.
Interesting one, that one, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, but I'm kind of pleased for her, and I'm hoping that she can now go into Everton. You know what I mean? Started Arsenal, went to City, Everton, and Leicester. A player that has always been talked about as a good player. We saw her get into the England squad, and obviously she got her injury after that. But I'm hoping that now she could get to Everton, who look like they're making good moves, and play consistently, and really put down a marker on how she plays in that 6 role. And, stop people progressing the ball because she's very good technically, and that's how Everton want to play. So I'm quite pleased about that move for her. So she's somewhere, she's rock solid there, and now she can build a body of work.
I think that shows how ambitious Everton are. I think especially this summer, I think they've obviously had a few statement signings, but I think Ruby Mace, she's 21, made her England debut last season, got injured, but I think she's found a position. She started at City a little bit like centre-half, right back, but now that 6 is her position, and I think that's an area for England, especially that we probably lack in.
Exactly.
So it's a great opportunity to get on the ball and to try and do something with a team that's been built again, really. You see it's been built. It's going through this little bit of a transition. They're going to be playing at Goodison Park, which is amazing.
Which is fantastic,
I think Everton are making big moves, and I do wish Ruby luck because I think she has got a lot of potential to be a great player.
I hope so, because when you get an injury like she did, just when you're starting to progress, she got herself in the England squad. She played, was it Belgium, I think, she played against. And, you're just thinking, right, perfect, because like you said, we do need that player. Because when you're looking at Kira and, our people are on Kira, we need somebody who can get the ball, move with the ball and pass the ball. You know what I mean? So hopefully Ruby can do that because she's got the physical presence for it, hasn't she? Steph, I just want to ask about Ruby. What's she like? What's she like as a person and that?
You know what? As a person, a great girl to have in your change room. She's really willing to learn, and I think for me, City was a tough period for her, but I do think as though that would probably give her the chance to make this move to Everton. I think sometimes as a young player, it's nice to go through that kind of stuff in terms of not playing that much, not really getting probably what you deserve at times. But for me, I think, Ian, when she first came, you could tell she was very technical. She would always be doing skills with different people. But I think that number 6 position and her physicality, she's worked a lot on her fitness and ability to get in and around the box, in both boxes, to get up and down. But for me, I think I love the fact that she loved to tackle. Especially with Bunny, and this is when we're in training, you could never get anywhere near Bunny, but there's only one person that could really do it, which was Ruby.
Wow.
And actually got Bunny so vexed, but I was just like, you know what, fair play, Ruby, you're trying to test yourself against the best striker in the WSL. And I think from that, I was like, right, okay, she's willing to learn. And so for me, I think it's a great sign for Everton. I feel as though that it's a very clever one. I know that she did okay at Leicester, and I know that Leicester have got their problems now. So for her career and to probably try and establish herself as a good midfielder in the WSL, but also England, it's perfect for her.
I think it's perfect as well. I just finished on the fact that, like I said, we've got 2 years for the World Cup. She can have a good run from now until then. I think she probably makes the squad.
Definitely.
I think she makes the squad. Ellie Roebuck.
Oh, I'm buzzing she's back in England.
You know something? I'm pleased for her. I remember when it first started and I started doing the England games, Ellie Roebuck was the goalkeeper, and she had an injury or an illness, whatever it was, and that's when obviously Mary Earps came in. But a lot of talk about how good she was when she comes back, but unfortunately for her, Mary went on and kicked on and done brilliantly well, and obviously Anna's doing well now. But that move to Villa, is that What would you say? Is that a good move for her in respect of getting to play and getting herself back? Can she get herself back to be England #1, do you think?
Massively, because I think Ellie knows herself that she's not played enough football over the last couple of years with injuries. Obviously, she had a really bad illness that she's came back from. She went to Barcelona, and obviously it's so hard to get into a Champions League winning side in terms of Barca and the players that they have. But I think for her, it'd probably give her a chance to reset mentally and physically and really push on. So I think she was always wanting to come back to England, but most importantly, it's to play. And I think Villa, I look at their goalkeeping situation last year, and you're not very convinced by that. So for Ellie to go in and to play under that style of football, I think it'll really, really suit her. And I think sometimes the pressure might be off a little bit. You go into a team like Villa, and this is no disrespect, but they're not expected to get Champions League. No. They're not expected to win trophies, but they're going to try and expect to get higher than they were last season. So I think with that group of players and with Ellie going there, I think it's a total fresh start, and I feel as though we'll see a different Ellie Roebuck this season.
She's another one I'm really looking forward to, hoping that she's injury free and she can play frequently. Simply
right, she's so technical.
She's good on her feet. Yeah, she's very good. Great height on her. You know what I mean? And I've not seen her play sustained amount of games. So I think that's a great move for Ellie.
How excited are you about the new £1 million signing, Olivia Smith? £1 million.
Yeah. You know something, very excited because I remember watching her last season especially. She was exciting. You know what I mean? The way she tore down that right-hand side and scored goals and always caused problems. But that's the thing, is how she's going to play. Obviously, it's a massive price tag in the women's game. I'm not sure that'll bother her because I think she went to Liverpool for quite a few quid as well. But I think that, you know, depending on how we're going to play her, because she'll find when she's playing for Liverpool, teams, she's got a lot of space to run into. And this is what a lot of people are talking about. So she is going to have to adapt her game a little bit in respects of just being able to run onto things. But other than that, very excited about it because, again, she's gone to a level where this is the test. You've gone somewhere where you're now, right, you've cost £1 million. That's a big investment in you because you're capable. So now she's got to go there and show them that, and we have to find ways. I think you get someone like a Kyra Cooney crossing the midfield and she's in space she's going to find passes, her. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the kind of relationship. You build up a kind of relationship like that. And then I could see her doing stuff. But at the same time, I could see her doing a lot of stuff. But at the same time, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when she does come up against these low blocks because it can be quite frustrating. But in respects of a signing, very excited. Very excited that Arsenal have bought a player like that, a young player, because let's face it, the young players at Arsenal are not getting too much of a berth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's something that...
Do you see her playing on either wing?
You know something? Well, if she played on the left, she'd cut in and even better on her right foot to shoot, but then she could play on the right and she could cut in and cross and do what I think she could play on either of those two. You know, I think she's really versatile in that respect. So, again,
she's very raw. That's how I'd probably describe her, as like raw. I think just watching her off last season, and obviously in them first few games, you're like, who is this girl?
Yeah.
And like literally just played with so much freedom. Yeah. Probably because she was allowed to play and you're playing in a Liverpool team and I think the idea was just to get the ball to her.
Yes.
And for her to try and cause damage to other teams.
And you know what else we'll have to see how she deals with is, you know, the Emirates is going to be, there's a lot of time, it's going to be packed and full of people. You know what I mean? I know she's at Liverpool, but it wasn't the same kind of attention that she'll get now. So there will be a feeling of nerves simply because of the club and the levels and the fact that we're Champions League winners and we're trying to go to win the league, which I'm hoping that we can do this year. So all that will be in the mix for her. But then a couple of goals at the start of the season, if she can get her confidence going, then I feel that, you know what I mean? I think she's going to be amazing. I'd like to see her start.
Yeah.
Because the longer she doesn't start, the more the pressure will build for when she does start. Because people are talking about the price tag, which, again, you know, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but that's the thing that builds the pressure on you. How can you buy £1 million player? She can't start. What's going on? But, like, if Chloe's playing well, if Caitlin's playing well, you know what I mean? Then it's up to Renee to pick them. But, like, she's got to get in there and stamp her authority.
It does automatically add pressure, though, doesn't it? Like, you look at what Chelsea did with Naomi Girma and then it was like they have to win the league
Yeah,
now. They have to
yeah.
win the Champions League. And obviously they didn't do that, but I do feel as though that extra pressure is on you guys.
Yeah.
Just because of that signing, but also the Champions League win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that especially in them forward areas that you've been able to let Aguiman go, who had an amazing summer, that just shows in terms of the competition up top.
Yeah. You know when you was at City and you was doing the coaching stuff at City, what was it like when you was coming up against her? Obviously, because of her pace. What did you have in place for her?
It's hard to not ignore someone like that. I think sometimes, if you're oblivious to a player like Olivia Smith, you'd be stupid to go into games like that. So I think what you spoke about before there is like, can we deny space to a point, but also can you stop the players that are feeding her?
Right.
So it was very much, can we get the defenders? Can we high press as much as possible? But also, when she's getting the ball, do not allow her time and space to turn, because as soon as she's running at you, you've got to foul her.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens in football, that you've just got to. And I think, especially when we played them at Anfield, you could see that we probably didn't get it right. Even though I wasn't coaching, then you watched it from the sideline and you're thinking, we've allowed her too much. And she scored.
Yeah.
She scored a great goal. So for me, I think even from them games, it's so hard to kind of. But then, if you focus on Olivia Smith, especially you guys, then it's like, okay, what are you going to do with Alessia Russo?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with Chloe Kelly? What are you going to do with Cal Dente? So
Yeah.
that is what you guys have built. And
Well, this is what I'm hoping that she does well. That's why I'm hoping she does well, because there's the players are there for her to thrive. So fingers crossed that she can get the games and she can
Definitely.
thrive. There's one player that I'm very excited about, because I remember watching a game. I was just flicking through my TV and I came to a Spanish channel, and there's a women's game on, and I think Granada were playing against Barcelona, and I think they're beating. I don't know, it was like 6-7-1, but she was outstanding.
Yeah.
Ornella Vignola. She was outstanding, and she scored a fantastic goal. And I was just, in the end, because you're watching Barcelona, you're watching them rip them to shreds. But when she got the ball and that she done stuff, and I thought, wow, she's really good. And then I heard Everton sign her, and I thought, yes, Everton.
That's why I'm excited a little bit about Everton.
Yeah.
Because they've attracted someone like that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So fingers crossed that she does well. I'm going to keep my eye on her as well.
Is that like a one to watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, WSL fixtures, and we got to say, with the predictions, when obviously you battered me last season, but like, what we got Adam, and say thank you to Adam, for sending this in.
Big shout out to Adam.
Adam emailed us on about the website he created. He said that he was following along with the predictions. So we've got a website now that you can join into, and we can have a league system.
Oh, so we can have other people can do their predictions.
So other people can do their predictions in it as well. So join the Crossways League to play against us, right? So join that. So full-time-forecast.com. And then you come in and do the predictions with us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be cool.
More competition.
I'm going to go you know what? I'm going to really focus hard on this one, because I really want to win.
Yeah, I want to win again.
I want to win the forecast. So get involved with that. And don't forget as well.
Maybe we should have a prize at the end of it for everyone.
We'll find a prize.
For those that join in, we'll have a prize for the winner.
Yeah, and we'll find a good prize.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start.
Right.
You do, and what am I just doing that? You're asking me? And
yeah, I'm going to ask you.
Okay, go on then.
I'll do one game, you do the other game.
Right.
Okay? Right. Chelsea, Man City.
I think start of the season. I'm going to go City.
Go.
2-1.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Right.
Arsenal, London City Lionesses.
I'm going to go...
Are you backing your London City Lionesses or your
Arsenal?
Arsenal?
I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Right.
Spurs, West Ham.
West Ham 3-1.
I'm going to go Spurs 2-0.
Right.
United, Leicester.
United 4-0.
Oh, I said 4-0 too.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Liverpool, Everton.
I'm going to go Everton. Everton always causing problems at Anfield. Everton 2-0. Especially they've got no Olivia Smith now. So.
I'm going to go 1-0 Everton.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
Right.
And Brighton, Villa.
With Michelle Adjamang down there, I think she's going to be coming back flying. I'm going to probably go with Brighton 3-0.
I'm going to go 2-1.
So have you given everybody a goal there?
No, I didn't give Liverpool or Leicester or West Ham.
Okay. So that's it then.
Get your predictions in, guys.
Yes, get your predictions in. And don't forget as well with our kind of memorabilia wall.
We need to fill it up a little
We're
bit
going
more.
to fill it up. We want send us some stuff, some cool stuff. Nice little teddy or so. See that Snoop on his own there. So.
First episode done.
I'm quite pleased with the way it's gone. Flo was
nice
great.
to
Thank
be
you
back.
very much to Flo Lloyd Hughes for coming on and giving us all that info from the cutback and counter press. So thanks very much for that, Flo. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. And we'll see you again next week, won't we?
Yeah.
Nice
Enjoy
one.
the game. See ya.